Well, it's 7 o'clock, early start, after a few Guinnesses the night before, but we're on our way, heading back towards Ireland, just leaving the marina now. Once again, I've got the easy job on the helm. Robin's doing all the hard work.
We're heading back towards Wales.
We're heading home. We're heading home. Have you enjoyed your trip?
Fantastic, yeah.
Good.
Wonderful sailing, brilliant Guinness.
Yeah.
It's a slightly long way to get to the pub. That's all.
Notice you didn't say good company. As we head east back across the Irish Sea, the wind forecast is for a nice westerly breeze, so we should be doing a little bit of downwind sailing later. The wind veers round to sort of southwesterly later this afternoon, so we'll see if predict wind, or even predict wind. See, it's so early I can't even speak. We'll see if predict wind has got the forecast right.
Sunbathing today, Dave? Do you
Well,
think?
I hope so, yeah. I'll get my mankini out.
It's absolutely beautiful, look at that. However, you may have gone too soon with your shorts, fella.
Do you reckon? Do you think?
Possibly have, because this is what's just about to join us. This rain front. So the big question of the day, has Dave dressed appropriately for today's crossing?
Probably not.
It is warm, to be fair, though, this morning.
It is warm, yeah, it is nice and warm. If this little squall or whatever it is passes over us, hopefully it'll leave some sunshine in its wake. All of a sudden we've got a lot of ships around us. There's the pilot boat over there. There's that thing there with the blue hull. The ferries are coming out now. Good job we're not doing this at night, we'd be a lot worried.
Okay, we're on marine traffic, trying to work out where this ship over here has come from. It's a COSCO vessel, which I think is Chinese. So I've looked it up. It's the Pinghai 1, which I've definitely said correctly. And if I press the button, it's come from Port Jérôme in France, so not too far, and it left there on the 25th of July at 8:22. Maybe it is quite a way though. Port Jérôme maybe is South France then.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And he's arriving in Dublin at 9 o'clock, so yeah, he's nearly there, he's on it. Okay, so Dave's up here now, he's putting his jibe preventer on. We're going to have the wind behind us for some of the trip today. See the device up above his head. He's just rigging it up for us. Make sure that we don't have any messy crash jibes as we're travelling across.
Right, so for the first time I've just rigged our jibe preventer. This is the Jibe Easy one that I bought, and basically what happens is it acts as a boom brake. So if the back of the boat goes through the wind and we do a thing called an accidental jibe, which is probably one of the most dangerous manoeuvres you can do on a sailing boat, because without the preventer on, the boom would just go from one side of the boat to the other with an almighty crash and a lot of force push through the boom and the mast. So this little jibe preventer stops that from happening. It's like a boom brake. So if we did jibe and the back of the boat went through the wind, the boom would slowly move over to the other side of the boat. Instead of going with a big crash, it's more of a controlled, smooth motion. So it stops the banging, stops the risk of any damage happening. But just rigged this for the first time today. Hopefully we won't need to use it, but it's there if the wind suddenly shifts, or if the autopilot has a bit of a paddy and sends us in the wrong direction when we're not expecting it. Or of course helmsman error, that does happen from time to time as well. So the way it works is this blue line is a very flexible line, and what it does is you run it through the jibe easy, as you can see what I've done here, and then I've got it through a couple of friction rings, and then onto a cleat. And it's exactly the same on the other side of the boat as well. So there you go, a little bit of peace of mind. So it's been about an hour now, we're on our way, and it's time for a bit of breakfast. And the Irish ferry and the Stena ferry, they've just both left Dublin as well. They're heading for Holyhead. I think they'll be there a lot quicker than us.
Why is there no wind when we sail together?
It's just mad, isn't it?
Bonkers.
So either too much wind or not enough wind.
Yeah.
This summer has been a washout so far in the UK. Right, so as you can probably hear, the engine is still on, but the sails are flogging around a bit. There's not an awful lot of wind, but what wind we've got is coming from over there, so we're kind of on a broad reach. The forecast is for it to veer around and come from directly behind us. So some more eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that I've got a new whisker pole, or a spinnaker pole, that's connected to the front of the boat. So I'm going to deploy that for the first time. So on this journey so far, we're using the easy jibe, and I'm about to use the spinnaker pole, both of those for the first time. Okay, pull it back in.
Yeah, the wind's dropped completely.
Is it?
Yeah, we've only got about 4 knots. That's it, it's pulled it round now.
Right, so the whisker pole is up, but as you can see, the winds have just completely died. We're doing, what are we doing? 1.8 knots in about 5.5 knots of breeze. So the whisker pole is holding the jib out, but there's not enough wind to sail, so I think we're going to put the engine back on and do some more motor sailing. But it was nice and peaceful for a time. So now we're motoring and the wind is veering round, so we're kind of going through a bit of a jibe. You can see how the jibe preventer is stopping the boom crashing from side to side. As it goes from one side to the other, it's being slowed down by the blue line going through that clever metal grid. Can you hear that? There's no engine on, we're sailing. We're about probably 2/3 of the way across now, and the winds have picked up. They were kind of behind us earlier on when they died and we had to motor, but now they're coming from over there. So we're on a bit of a beam reach now, and it's just great. It's lovely out here, it's just beautiful. It's quite warm as well. Well, it's lovely just sitting here chilling, literally watching the world go by. Every so often just turn myself around, have a look forward, make sure there's nothing in our way, nothing coming. Perfect. Sit back down again and just chill. This is what sailing's all about, isn't it? Well, good morning everybody. It's the last day of our little trip. Well, we think it is. It's not even 5 o'clock in the morning and we are just leaving Holyhead and we're heading round towards Conway, but we're having a little stop first of all, aren't we?
Yeah, just to make sure that we can get the tide right, getting round, and that we can do the skerries at the right time so we're not bouncing around.
So in case you don't know, the Skerries is one of the corner point of the sort of north and west coast of Anglesey. So you've got to time that right with the tides, otherwise it gets a bit bouncy. So we're just leaving Holyhead. We're going to stop at Pontlinus, we think, for breakfast. We'll be there about 8 o'clock, I think. So if you've watched earlier episodes, that is where I took my daughter paddleboarding a couple of months ago, a couple of episodes back. So we'll be there for a bit of breakfast in a little while. Let's see how this goes.
I could do a bit of breakfast.
Yeah, so could. I'm starving, yeah.
What's that alarm?
Yes. It's a battery alarm for some reason. Let's go and see what that alarm is.
Yeah.
Well, it's a right gloomy morning. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but over there somewhere is the Skerries, and on the Skerries is a lighthouse. You might see the light coming on every so often. No wind again, absolutely nothing as far as wind is concerned today, so far. So it's going to be a motor all the way round to our little anchorage to rest up and then to get to Conway on a flood tide as the Sill Gate opens and lets us into the marina. Right, so it's still only 7:45 in the morning. The sun is just kind of breaking through the clouds, and as you can see, it's lovely and calm out here. We got round the Skerries before the tide changed, because the tide is now coming towards us, and if we'd have left it much later, we'd have had a little bit of wind over tide and it would have been fairly choppy coming through there. So we're slowly making our way round now to Pontlinus, where we're going to anchor up, have some breakfast, because we've got a bit of time to kill before we make our final passage into Conway. We can't get in till about 4 o'clock this afternoon because of the Sill Gate and the tides. So we're going to anchor up, maybe have a little bit of a sleep because we had an early start this morning. First of all though, we're going to have some breakfast when we get there. I'm absolutely starving. Well, we've had a nice couple of hours break at Pontlinus. Thought we were going to get a nice quiet anchorage to ourselves. We're the only boat here, but of course being the school holidays, there's a lot of people on the beach. There's some people doing some coast steering, there's people out on their little paddleboards enjoying the kind of intermittent sunshine, but we're just about to head off and make our way into Conway. But as always, this is such a lovely anchorage. It's one of my favourite spots on the North Anglesey coast. Well, we decided not to put the sails up because, as you can probably see and hear, it's blown a hoolie out here. Gusting up to about 13 knots at the moment. So we're not going to risk putting the sails up in that. We'll just motor back if we have to.
I definitely agree with the captain on this one.
Well, we are just about coming into CONWY Marina after a very enjoyable trip to Dublin for a pint of Guinness. Have you enjoyed yourselves? Have you enjoyed it?
I've very much enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed the Guinness, most definitely. And obviously enjoyed the company.
Wow.
So,
oh, you did enjoy it. Oh, that's good. That's good. Whew, right, well, we got back about an hour ago. I've just had a quick shower. I've got some tidying up jobs to do here on the boat, and then I'm heading home for the weekend. And I've got to tell you, I think the last 5 days have been probably the most enjoyable 5 days I've ever had on the boat since I bought it. And a big thank you to Robin for coming and sharing the journey with me. I hope you enjoyed it, mate, and look forward to sailing with you again sometime in the future. And of course, that just about does it for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching us do our little adventure over to Dublin and back. If you have enjoyed it, remember, hit that thumb, give us a like, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe. More sailing adventures coming up very, very soon, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Also, if you're feeling really generous, why not become a Patreon? All of my patrons get early access to the videos and exclusive content. You can find out more by hitting the Patreon link in the description in the box below. So until next time, thanks again for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.